What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 18 now of the Leeds United career mode here on YouTube. And in today's episode, we have games against Cardiff, and then we take on Bristol City later on in the episode. And we took Cardiff on at home here for the first game of this episode, obviously on legendary difficulty, 4 minutes a half as per usual, so I can get as many episodes of these out as possible. You can see the team we named there, but if you didn't quite catch that, you'll see it when we go into game in just a second here. As you can see, we go into game against Cardiff. I was looking forward to this one, though, because I have to tell you guys right now, in terms of how we're playing, I am over the moon with how we are playing. I started off this career mode way back, struggling to win games, struggling to understand how this new FIFA worked, struggling to really get you guys entertaining episodes, but we've managed to pick that up towards the middle of the season and into the back end now as we are going into the back end of the season, as we have managed to make some very, very good performances in the last, a number of episodes that we've had, knocked out a few big teams out of the cup, we've played well in the championship as well, so we were looking good in terms of form at the moment going into this one against Cardiff. Cardiff weren't going to be an easy side, I knew that going into this game, because they obviously have a very good side, and they have been up and down in the Premier League and Championship for the last few seasons in real life, so they did have a very solid side in this one, so I was thinking to myself, would I be happy with a draw at home here against Cardiff? I probably would. If you'd have given me a draw at the start of this game, I probably would have taken it. So I was going into this thinking, as long as we get a draw out of this, I won't be too disappointed. You can see the side that we're about to name in a second if you didn't quite catch it as we went into this game. They did have Ricky Lambert up front as well, did Cardiff. I didn't actually realise that Lambert had gone from West Brom to sign to the Cardiff City, or what is it? Who did he actually play Cardiff? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, he signed for Cardiff, and he will be playing his football here for Cardiff. He will be playing against us here today as well. That was the side we had. Silvestri, Eiling, Bartley, Cooper, Coyle. Obviously, it's our backup side, or rather our second team, as I would like to also call it. I keep calling it the backup side, but I can't call it the backup side, because they are playing just as well as the first team are. This is the side that has knocked out Manchester City in the Cup, and it's also just as well, won us last game. I think we beat Huddersfield 3-0 with this side as well. So I can't really call it our backup team when they're playing just as well as the first team are, because the first team only drew against Ipswich last time out. So, maybe we have to rethink the first team and backup team situation right now, because this is the side that's winning those games. And happy to see that keeps going on here against Cardiff, hopefully, as Gunnarsson, who was vital in the Icelandic team that destroyed England on the knockout phases of the Euros, as he played for Cardiff today. If you didn't ever watch the Euros, where England just, didn't really perform how we should have performed, then, yeah, you missed nothing, really. You got away with it, I'd have to say, because we were absolutely shocking at the Euros. And every year we go into a competition, we all say, oh yeah, it's going to be different this time. We've got a better side and all this other stuff. And then we just do exactly the same. And then I don't really know why we get disappointed about it anymore, in all honesty, because it should just be a regular occurrence for us English fans. But in the end of the day, every time we go into a new competition, we're like, yo, this is going to be it this year. We're going to do well. And then obviously we get very disappointed when something goes wrong, which is normally all the time. Anyway, enough about England, as we did see Cardiff City have the first two chances of this game. Diarraga, though, would create our first chance. He gave it to Chris Wood. A lot of luck as we got the ball back. But Chris Wood could only fire his shot high and wide, megally wide as well, may I add, into the stands. It's a very, very lucky way that we got through, but as you can see, Chris Wood just didn't quite know where the goal was as he fired that one megally wide into the crowd, as if to say, here, have a ball for free. That's what he was looking at there. We have a throw in here in the 52nd minute into the second half now. Nothing really happened in this game up until Diarraga gives it to Murphy. Murphy, one more into Sacco. I thought Sacco was offside, but our winger wasn't, and he made an absolute wonderful finish of the ball through that was played into him. So, I spoke about it last episode. Sacco has been unbelievable for us, and Joel Green is the one that's keeping him out of the side at the moment, but I am seriously considering moving Sacco back into this side and playing him ahead of Alex Iwobi on the other side of that, and possibly keeping Joel Green and Sacco as our two top wingers at the club currently. Because Sacco, when he's playing, is playing absolutely unbelievably. I would say I was pretty sure that this was going to be given offside, but when it wasn't, I was over the moon. But I would have to say that this was a very close call going into this one. But what a wonderful finish by our number 24, Hadi Sacco, in that winging position, as he managed to put the ball past the Cardiff City goalkeeper and give us a 1-0 lead at home against Cardiff, which is a very nice thing to see as well, especially when you consider Cardiff did have the better opportunities than we did. Obviously, Chris Wood firing that shot wide of the post. As I stole the ball here with Stuart Dallas, gave it to Sacco, surely 2-0, but this time the goalkeeper made a good save in the Cardiff goal. So, in terms of this one, Cardiff really had the better chance in the first half, but Sacco's just causing them the danger. It's really basically just Sacco's. Diarraga steals it here, has the strike, but unfortunately drags his shot wide. So, without Sacco, we would have drawn this game by 0-0. Possibly even lost it had Cardiff have scored their two opportunities they had early on in this game, but we didn't. We managed to win it by a 1-0, and thankfully that Sacco is in the side, because he is the one that's making the difference right now. Sacco is the one that's winning his game, so thankfully he is able to stay fit and playing on a regular basis, and he's just causing so much problems for many, many teams in this league. So managed to pick up the full 3 points from that game. As you can see from the match stats coming up in a second, we sort of deserved winners there. We had 4 shots to their 2, same amount on target, exactly the same possession, so it's a very equal game in that that one, but we just managed to scrape out the full 3 points with that 1-0 victory thanks to a Sacco goal, which had a lot of questions over it, because if you look at the back of that, it could have quite easily been given as an offside goal. But as you can see there, the rest of the results around the championship, if you were interested in that. And you are looking at the bottom side of this screen right now, you can see that we are 8 points behind Aston Villa, who do have a game in hand, but we are slowly closing the gap to the top two. So if we do manage to close them down and take it right until the wire, I'll be very, very happy, because I wrote our chances off a few episodes ago. I said I wasn't expecting to hit the top two. It was basically going to be me just trying to keep hold of third position. But we are slowly creeping back the points that we need to try and catch both Villa and, I do believe, is it, who was actually top? Norwich are the team that's top. So we are slowly catching them. As you can see, the top scorers in the league there. Chris Wood and Kamaru both featuring on that list, I do believe, with 8 and 7 goals respectively. They have scored so far in the championship for us, as we did take on Bristol City for the second game of this episode. This one was an absolutely unreal game to play. I thoroughly enjoyed playing this one. You're going to see it in a second, what the outcome of the game is and stuff, but I really, really, for the first time in career mode, enjoyed playing this game. As you can see when you go into this, that is the side we named. It's basically our strongest side. So at the moment, in terms of our strongest side, as I keep calling it our strongest side, I'm going to have to rename it, because as you can see, Sacco's side, or the side that Sacco is part of, seems to be winning games for us recently. And Antonsen makes his return to the Leeds United team here after his injury spell on the sidelines. He makes his return to play against Bristol City for the home fans here today at East Point Arena, aka Ellen Road. And I was looking forward to this one because, as you can see by the table, Bristol City was sat in 22nd in the table, which meant this should have been quite comfortable for us to try and get the win out of this game. But every time I say that, I also then look back and think, you know, was it a quite comfortable victory? Because every time I say it, we nearly get made a fool of, because I look at the games and, you know, you see it and you think, yeah, comfortable, they're sat bottom of the table, this should be easy. But then sometimes the lower league sides, or the lower, you know, sides in the division, can actually upset the rest of the teams. We've only conceded 10 goals all series long so far in the championship. Out of 30 games, to only concede 10 goals, that is unbelievable. And if we concede one here against Bristol City, I'll be thoroughly disappointed, because to only concede 10 goals in 30 games is very, very good. So to concede one against a 22nd position opposition in Bristol City would be very disappointing. That was the side we had. I've actually thought of a name for Miguel de Masquites. We're just going to call him Miguel. Yeah, it took me so long to think of that name. I thought of it all by myself as well, in all honesty. That was such a hard thing to do, using his first name to call him by. Yeah, looking back on it, it was so stupid. I don't know how on earth I didn't think of that sooner. But we're just going to call him Miguel. Don't rip into me too much for not being able to think of a better name for him, as, you know, it took me so long to think of Miguel anyways, because I'm pretty stupid, to be honest. But anyways, so Miguel featured in the side for us today at right back, or left back. I'm not entirely sure which side he's playing on. I do believe it's left back, actually, because Charlie Taylor obviously left the club. And it would be Bristol City who had the first chance in this one. Smith's strike was very poor in the end, though, as Rob Green just watches it into his hands. Safe hands, Rob Green making an unbelievable save there inside the 6th minute of the game. If you can't tell the sarcasm there, then yeah, just click off the video now. As you can see, though, a cross came in from Bristol City. Very, very weird cross back across the face of goal, as they took it to a weird angle. It takes a deflection off the defender and ends up in the path of Smith, who puts it into the back of the net to give Bristol City an unlikely lead in this game, away from home at the third place in Leeds. So I did say I'd be very disappointed if we conceded, because we've only conceded 10 goals in 30 appearances so far in the championship. I think it was actually 31 appearance in the championship. So to concede here to Bristol City, who was sat in 22nd, I was not happy, as Joel Green gets into a very good position. His shot was eventually blocked, but nothing came of the corner. You'll see it from this angle. At first, I thought it would just went wide, but it didn't. It actually took a deflection on the way through, hit the Bristol City defender. It was a very good block in the end, because it was on target and maybe going in from our scout future star. As Joel Green was involved, backheel into, I think it was Kamaru. Kamaru, using his pace to his advantage, holds the defender off, gets into a very good position. This time, I make no mistake and curl that one into the top corner to give us the 1-1 here. 39 minutes in, lovely bit of play from Joel Green with the back heel into Kamaru. He's playing with such confidence at the moment. Wait till you see his touch that he gets in the next episode. It's such an unbelievable touch that he makes in the next episode. I can't wait till this guy hits the heights of becoming one of the best players in the world, if we do manage to take the series as far as that. Very nice finish, though, from Kamaru to get his 8th goal, I do believe, in the championship this season, as he fires that one into the top corner to give us the 1-1. And as you can see, Antonsen picks up the injury. So he just came back from an injury to feature today for us in his first game back against Bristol City, and then he picks up another injury. So God knows how long he's out for. I can't actually remember how long he actually is on the sidelines now for again. I don't think I actually show it in this episode as well, so that's my bad. But yeah, he is injured as soon as he gets back into the side, which is very disappointing to see. As Bristol City in the 52nd minute, poor defending from me, whip another corner in. It's a very similar, it's a very similar chance to the goal that they scored originally when we first started this game, and exactly the same thing happened yet again. I didn't deal with the initial cross. They get another cross back into the box, and this time it's a different Smith. but it's still Smith who puts it in the net. I think the other one was J. Smith, and this was M. Smith, or it might be, I can't quite remember what his first name is. But yeah, it's a different Smith who puts this one in, and Rob Green can't do anything about it as we see ourselves 2-1 down to Bristol City in this game. So I said, disappointed if we conceded one. Not only have we conceded one, we've conceded two on the day. So that's very, very annoying, and I'm not happy with the way that we conceded the goals here. To only concede 10 all season, then concede 2 against Bristol City, who was sat 22nd, was not good. But we managed to get ourselves a penalty here as Joel Green, not really sure what the defender was thinking there, had nowhere to go. Tried to turn back with Joel Green. He brings me down in the box, 74 minutes into the game. We get ourselves a penalty in this one. Our number 13 in Joel Green does the man. I would have said, though, Joel Green was looking for the penalty. If you take a look at that again, he sort of walks into the Bristol City defender who can't quite believe the penalty's been given, as Bristol City make a change here before we were allowed to take this penalty. I was very quite annoyed, actually, that the fact that they were able to make a change sort of made me think it just added a little bit more pressure to me, because obviously 75 minutes into the game, my penalties already suck on this game. I am not good at penalties on this game already, so to get one and I need to score it is even worse. Kamar Roof was originally stood over it, but I decided to swap it to all important, what's the word, consistent Chris Wood, and he buries that for us into that bottom corner in the 75th minute to make it Leeds United 2, Bristol City 2 in a very, very good game. I really enjoyed playing this one, but at the same time, disappointing to concede 2 against 22nd place Bristol City, who didn't really score all that many goals this season so far. So to concede 2 here, I don't know how that quite happened, considering the fact that we only conceded 10 in the entirety of the championship before this. I keep going on about it, but it is, yeah, like I said, it's very disappointing. And Bristol City could have actually stolen the game from us and stolen the full 3 points in 83rd minute as they managed to create a chance. Rob Green makes the initial save, and the rebound is smashed into the side netting, which is very, very, very lucky for us, as Bristol City could have stolen the full 3 points there, and I wouldn't have been happy at all. That was the way the game would end, though, a 2-2 draw here at home against Bristol City. So as disappointing as it was, if you'd give me that in the situation that we're in when we were 2-1 down in the game, I would have taken it with both hands and said thank you very much, as we did get that penalty, which Chris Wood then eventually scored. But having said that, to not pick up 3 points here against the 22nd place side in the league is very disappointing, as I was chasing down the top 2, and that just sort of sets us back a little bit there. As you can see, it was a very even game. Bristol City had more possession. We had 6 shots, 4 on target. They had 3 and 3 on target. There are the rest of the results around the league. Norwich only drawing at Newcastle, though, so that made it better for me. And I do believe, where are they? I can't quite see them. Aston Villa, yet they beat Barnsley by 3-0. So that means that we are not closing them down, because we've only picked up a draw, whereas they have managed to pick up a win. As you can see, we do have a game coming up here as well in the next episode against Watford in the FA Cup. Another Premier League side in the Cup, which we will try and defeat and get through to the next round, which I'll be looking forward to seeing how we get on there, because that'll be interesting, because we've obviously knocked out Manchester City, we've knocked out West Brom, but we've lost to Arsenal. So we've beaten 2 and lost to 1 Premier League side so far in the Cup. Could we make it 3-1, or will we go to 2-2? You can see the league table here as I show you in more detail. Just pause it if you want to take a quicker look. I actually show you for quite a nice amount of time anyway. So if you want to take a quick look anyway, any other side in the league, you can see where we are sat in third, 63 points, 11 points behind Aston Villa and Norwich now as well, as they both on the same goals, but we're actually 3 goal difference down, not on the same goals, same points, sorry. We're actually 3 goal difference down on both, well, on Villa, and a number of goals down on Norwich. So if it comes down to goal difference, we're not beating Norwich, but we may have a chance to beat Aston Villa on goals. As you can see, though, no one else around us in that position has scored or has the same goal difference that we do. We are coming towards the end of the episode of Career Mode, though. If you have enjoyed, don't forget to drop that like button. I have been Danny. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'm out. Adios.